Good morning, YouTube. Oh boy, it is Friday, January what 20th, 7:20 in the morning. Anyway, today we are going to discuss whether or not your signals are worth installing, your indicators, your turn signals, whatever you want to call them. It's a funny subject because it really all depends how you feel about it. I did have signal lights, and it's just the wiring. It's just so many wires. It's not even funny. Then you have the God, what the hell they called? Oh shoot, I forgot. Anyhow, it's just I can't think this early in the morning. But there you go, flashes, LED flashes. They got to be LED flashes. There can't be any other flashes. They're about $5 each on Amazon, eBay, whatever it is. And it has to go in between the wires. I had it done. I had it underneath my seat. What I found that it was uncomfortable and inconvenient was that when you have your switch on the handlebar, the left and the right, in these switches, you have to literally put the switch in the middle. Now, I've done it. Like I said, I've had my indicators installed. And my biggest dilemma, my biggest problem on the road was that I literally had to pay attention to the switch when I turned the left or right because you literally have to put the switch in the middle. And when I rode with my boys, it was where he goes, dude, like your signal is on like for hours and hours, on the road. And I'm like, yeah, I just keep forgetting turning it off. Or I, think it's in, the switch is in the middle, but really it isn't. It's either on the left position or on the right position, or left alone, and it just blinks. So if you are doing, 30, 40, 50, 60 miles an hour, you're not going to be, fingering with your finger to, switch the turns left and right or turn it off. And I spoke to Tony about it, and, he's just like, but you know what? The whole situation here is that on a motorcycle, you just press it in and you press it out. So it's completely different. You don't have to look for the happy middle. And I says like, well, that's interesting. But now if you look at those switches on the motorcycle, they're pretty big. Even though some of the handlebars they're same size, which I really doubt it. They're a little bit fatter because Tony has handlebars from a motorcycle, and they're a little bit, I believe, fatter. But regardless to it, the physical appearance of the switch is extremely big. And my huge pep is that I hate having things installed on my handlebars. I would like to have, or I plan to have, the least switches that I can have. Okay. So far, what we have is we have a horn switch, a momentary switch, and my lights, my light switch. So we have only two switches. That's it. And unfortunately, I have to come up with another one, which is my momentary switch. There is a way of not really. I thought I can do a pedal switch for a region, but not really. I'm not gonna do that. I mean, I could, but it's just if I had pegs, I could do it, but I don't have pegs. I have pedals, so I can't really do a foot brake, no foot brake sensor. But yeah, so we are going. It's kind of going to be awkward because I used to have my thumb throttle on the left, so I'm so used to using my left thumb for acceleration. Now my thumb throttle acceleration is on the right hand side, so I will accelerate with my right hand, and I will have to stop with my left hand, which is my region, right? So in regards to that, I have to get used to it where I don't use that momentary switch on the left hand side as to a horn um, operation because it's going to be on the right hand side, and to remember that my region is on the left. So it is doable. It is possible to get it done that way. It's just takes time to, I guess, get used to it, but it'll take a couple of rides, and I will pretty much get familiar with it. So besides that, you have this spaghetti going around with your wires. Once you slice your wires, once you open your wires, once you expose your wires, you have electric tape, you have heat string, you have all kinds of things. And then, God forbid, you got to troubleshoot. With all these things involved in it. So that means you have to remove them, you have to redo them. That was my worst experience of where my flashes somehow somewhat stopped working, and I had to kind of troubleshoot the whole thing and go over it, which was such a small thing because it's an indicator that when I forget to turn it off, or I think it's turned off, but in reality it isn't turned off because I have it to either left position or right position. So it kind of sucks when you're riding on a bike and your left signal is always on. It looks unprofessional. It looks lousy. It's just misleading the entire, traffic behind you. However, I will put a link, not link, but I will put a picture down below and show you guys what I really like. On AliExpress, there is a kit. It's about $42, and it does have a bigger indicators, which I do mind and I don't mind. It really depends because if you have a car, let's say 1,000 feet behind you, I don't think you're gonna see that small little light. Even though those LED lights are big, are bright, and I know that the driver is going to know that there is something flashing, there's something going off. And not everybody has a common sense, but people that do have common sense are still driving this country. They will say, oh shit, I guess this guy's making a left turn. So, saying that, a small indicator will work. These aren't really big indicators, they aren't small indicators. But on AliExpress, you have the entire thing wired in together with a flasher system that actually makes that noise where it goes tick, 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 just like it would in your car, which in this case will remind you that you have to turn it off and that the system is on. Now, why I like it is because, well, some people like small indicators, some people like big indicators. I like indicators that uh, complete the purpose of the use, right? So it's not really small and tiny, or oversized like some of them are. And then if you if you ride in a Harley, you are going to have big indicators. You driving, a crotch rocket, you're going to have small indicators, if any whatsoever. So saying that, AliExpress, as you can see, has these good looking indicators, right, that you can work with, and also it has that flasher for LED, everything already pre-installed, everything already done. The most convenient thing is, now if you ever saw my switch, which again I'll put a picture down below, my switch is on and off. They are using the same exact switch with two step downs, right? So to the left is going to be left signal, to the right is going to be right signal, in the middle is going to be pretty much off. It kind of, sucks because when you ride on the bike, everything is shaking. You have to take the pressure off your hands, right, to figgle, with your finger to find the middle hobby, right, they're off. And I don't like that. That's why I really do not want to have signals because it takes my concentration away from my writing time. I'm not paying attention to where I'm going. I'm paying attention to a silly switch so I can put an indicator whether I'm turning left or right. Which honestly, we all know that lots of guys that ride, whether it's a group ride or non-group ride by themselves, they're waving in and out of traffic. They're on a sidewalk, off the sidewalk, and this isn't me just being judgmental or throwing ideas out there. We've seen this on many multiple videos with group rides, either Stana group ride or Brooklyn group ride or whichever. That people are just being senseless and reckless with the bikes, doing 50 miles an hour on and off the sidewalk because I guess they think they can. But you know, God forbid you hit a child, crossing the cross or coming out crosswalk or coming out from the driveway, especially out in suburbs like Staten Island, and you hit a child with 200-pound bike. That kid is not gonna make it, and I guarantee you got no liability on your bike. So don't even go there. You'll go to civil, lawsuit in the court systems, and you'll lose that because any judge, any jury is gonna hear your case saying like, "Where the hell were you doing? Speeding on the sidewalk, and you ran into this child." Now the child is either dead, paralyzed, or can't continue her regular life because you're being reckless and you're being selfish. So even though I don't have signals or indicators, even though I don't like to use them, even though I don't use them, but still I'm trying to be very careful and respectful, for other people in oncoming traffic or traffic that falls with me, and especially pedestrians. If you go to the city and you got to ride a bike, you got to be extremely careful because it's seriously, it's like just too crowded. Five boroughs aren't, well, not five boroughs, but probably Queens and Brooklyn. It's so hard to maneuver between people because they just walk like sheeps on the streets. But so the moral to this video is that I would not go through such a hassle to use or to install indicators because of the hassle of how much it takes to maintain it, how much it takes to troubleshoot. I've had few clients, and they ask me to troubleshoot the indicators and their horn and the headlight and the tail light and the brake light and they the LED flashers, the relays, and this and that. It's just such a hassle for such a small feature that I mean, honestly, I can use my hand gesture, which I've done so many times. If I'm making a left turn, I'm using my hands. If I'm turning right, I'm using my hand. But you know what? If you are in the middle of the road and you're making a right turn from a left side lane, you're already doing the wrong thing. So I don't care how many indicators you have. If you're positioned in the flow of traffic, the wrong side of the road or the street, you don't know what you're doing. You shouldn't be riding on a bike whatsoever. If you don't know how to take turns and lean left and lean right on your bicycle, not a motorcycle, you just accident waiting to happen on the road. Somebody's gonna slam into you. And let's be honest, most of the accidents that do happen with with bicycles and well, especially bicycles, it's either you're being reckless, just like all the guys on motorcycles. Some of them be extremely reckless, and or you just being selfish and you don't want to share the road with somebody else. And of course you have other drivers that just don't care about you being there. And I experienced lots of ways where people are just so jealous that you passing them and they're stuck in the traffic. When me and Tony take these smaller roads, these local roads, and we pass people, they get pissed, they get upset. We've had a guy where Tony passed them and the guy used this huge train air horn, which is so loud or was so loud that he could have reacted as if he was extremely surprised, and the uncomfortable noise in their eardrums would could have thrown them off the bike or have them lose the balance or shake them up and be disoriented. I mean, there's a reason why your brain reacts to some sort of decibels. If this thing is 400 decibels loud, I mean, come on, your brain is going to either shut down for a few seconds and be shocked, and you're riding a bike doing 40 miles an hour. So again, that's the biggest problem. So you know my answer to installing your signals, if you want to have this bullshit little thing, look, it's not that serious. If you're respectful with the rules regulations of the road, you not really going to die without the signals. If you want to do it for the show and say like, oh, hey, my bike is better than yours, and I mean, I've met lots of guys saying like, my bike is better than yours. At the end of the day, I really don't care if my bike is better than yours. The question is, did we ride together and did we have a great time? James or Tony, they can have bikes that can go 120 miles an hour. I enjoy my time with them, so I don't care what they ride. I care how they ride. I care if they bring attention to themselves. I care if they're being reckless. I care if they want to fight the world, while we ride on the bikes. And when we go and we ride, man, we got cool times. We got cool vibes. We talk, we chill, we relax. This is what guys should be doing. I don't want to be stressed out starting fights with every driver because he cut me off or this or that. Yeah, it's messed up when somebody cuts you off. But you know what? Like my father says, don't touch the shit because it's gonna stink around your neighborhood, and that's exactly what happens. You start, talking shit to them. They want to talk to you, and God forbid, nowadays, they'll pull a gun, they'll pull a knife. Then you got fucking 10 different guys trying to fight you. Like, come on, man, it's retarded. It's not worth it whatsoever. You know. So yeah, I'm not discouraging anybody on not getting signal, devices on your bikes. I'm saying if you're doing this for the wrong reasons, to show off, to say my bike looks better, has more toys, more tweaks, more gadgets. You know what? Be my guest. If that's what strokes you, that's totally fine. But me, I'm a simple guy. If I got to troubleshoot my things on the road, I'm gonna be fine. I don't like when I have things on my bike and they don't function the way they're supposed to. Okay. On the other hand, some people it doesn't bother them. I have a peak peg where if something doesn't work, I have to fix it right away. And that reminds me of one guy that I always hang out with, which is Tony. So on this note, please subscribe, share, do what you want to do. Comment down below. Tell me what do you think. Shoot everybody or every bike have a brake light and signal lights. I have my brake light because I think that's necessary. Okay, but not necessarily signal lights. So yes, comment down below. What do you think? Do you rather have a only a brake light, or brake light and indicators, or just indicators? Until then, folks, I gotta get to work. Check in with the you know job and see what the hell's gonna happen today. Maybe something new. All right, take care. Stay tuned for upcoming episode. Maybe we'll have another good discussion about something other than silliness. Take care.